Hi everyone, welcome to week 2. We're already into the course, so let's get going. Last week we worked through chapter 1, which had to do with the scientific method, which of course is terribly important for science because it's how we show how things work in the world. So the scientific method is tremendously important. A few things that I want to point out about the scientific method is that there's a tremendous amount of background work that anyone has to do who's a scientist before they get into setting up experiments. You have to know what other people know about this subject before you even get started. So that's a tremendously important part of the scientific process. Another thing that's very important is the peer review process, where other scientists look at your work and really they decide whether it will be published or not. I remember when I wrote up my research that I did for my PhD work in electrophoresis, and I sent it off to the journal Electrophoresis, which I know you've never heard of, and it's a really expensive journal. But I sent off my work to that journal and I put a little sticky note on it and to the editor, and I said, please be gentle with me. This is the first time that I have sent in an article for publication. And you know what she did? She sent me an email message back and she said, Dear Janie, I have sent your article off to our 3 toughest reviewers because I want you to be a good scientist. And so I got all the comments back from the reviewers, and they said I couldn't publish until I made some changes, which is almost always what happens. And I made the changes and I got my article published by the journal Electrophoresis. And if you do a Google search of my name, you will find it in the journal Electrophoresis. So that was my first experience with publications, and it was very traumatic to say the least. I thought, okay, I will never have anything published in my whole life if people do this to me. But it turned out to be a really good experience. So peer review is tremendously important. Okay, so that's last week. Plus we learned about what's living, what's not living. Can't wait to read those journal entries of yours. What's coming up this week? This week is some chemistry, and probably you're going, chemistry? I thought you said this was a biology class. Okay, that's true. It is a biology class. But we need to all be on the same page when we're talking about molecules. And so you have to know something about inorganic and organic molecules. You have to know the importance of water to organisms. It is so important. In fact, without water, we can't live. And then the organic molecules, everything from proteins to lipids, which are also called fats and waxes, etc., to carbohydrates to nucleic acids. One hint on your discussion post, I believe it is this week, you're supposed to respond with a comment about nucleic acids and why nucleic acids might not be on ingredients lists of foods. So my hint to you is this: go and look at nucleic acids and the structure of them. So what is the basic structure of a nucleic acid? It's a nucleotide. Look at it and see what it's made of, and then you'll figure out the answer. Okay, read the Module 2 overview, and you have a couple of 3 videos to watch. Watch those videos. You have discussion board postings this week. Your journal entry this week, and remember on the discussion board postings, your initial post is due by Thursday night, and then your 2 responses to fellow classmates are due by Sunday night. Then your journal entry is all about the link between fossil fuels and carbon dioxide, and so that's a really important topic just in the general world today. So that's an important idea for you to explore. And the properties of carbon and why carbon is so important, especially to organisms. You're going to watch the reliable sources video, and that will tell you that Wikipedia is not a good resource for you to use. You are going to be doing research and looking for references for your final project, which comes due at the end of the semester. So you need to know what a reliable source looks like. Wikipedia is not a good resource because it can be edited at any time by anyone. Therefore, you have no idea what somebody just put in there and whether it's true or not. So, reliable resources and sources. That video is good. It's only about 2.5 minutes long. And finally, I want you to look at the final project topics. You are going to choose one next week. So be looking at those and figuring out what is interesting to you. Are you interested in endangered species? Are you interested in the eutrophication of bodies of water? You may not even know what that is yet. So do a little bit of looking at that. You might want to do climate change. You might want to do alternative fuel sources. One thing that I want to mention about this is not to get really specific about a topic. So, for example, here in South Carolina, the gopher tortoises have been reintroduced because they are endangered species. They've been reintroduced in a small area of forest in South Carolina. If I chose that as my topic, there's not a lot of information about that. There's some, but there's not a lot. So instead, I would maybe choose endangered tortoises and turtles in the world, something like that, or just endangered species in general. So don't narrow down your topic too far so that you have enough information to work with. As always, if you need any help, if you need anything, if you're having issues, send me an email message. That's how you can reach me the very easiest, because I'm always checking my email wherever I am. And of course, I can't talk on the phone everywhere that I am. So email me if you need anything, or if you just get stuck. You know, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get through this course and to learn some biology. I have resources. If something doesn't make sense to you, just ask me. I will be glad to explain it to you. As a reminder, my email address is m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I will post that again in the announcement section. And finally, for you, down on the bottom here of the screen, I have a few of my pictures. I said in my intro that I love digital photography. And so here are some of my pictures. The one on the left is from Botany Bay Plantation, which is an awesome beach on Edisto Island. It's all natural, and this is called the Boneyard because some of the trees have washed out into the surf, some of the trees that have died. So it makes for great photography. Next, I have a sunflower field from a wildlife management area here in my county. The next one is 2 dolphins jumping. Now this is in the ocean. This is not at SeaWorld. And they jumped like this right in front of me. This was a spectacular moment. My sister was there with me. We both were absolutely speechless. But I did catch a couple of pictures of them. And finally, I have a tiny little newly hatched baby alligator on the right there. I told you that I love nature, so you can see the kinds of things that I take pictures of. If you need anything, let me know. Let's have a great week.